Well, hello guys. How are you all? Sorry about the false start. For some reason, when I went to touch my Mac, it died on me. I don't know what happened there, but I'm not very technically minded, so I think it all just was too much for it. Perhaps my playing was too intense and everything just went. So, hello James. Hello Caroline. Hello Leith. Hello Ali. Hello Andy, and hello Johnny. How you all doing? I still haven't figured out how to see how many people are watching this. Charlotte was going to show me, but she hasn't yet, but I can't see. So never mind. But hopefully there's at least a few. I can see that there's a few of you out there having a listen. So anyway, this is the third of my series of 42 guitars, the meaning of life. And so what I thought I'd talk about is this little beast, which is essentially the first ever electric guitar I got. Bought for me by my parents, obviously, because I was 8, 7, 8, and didn't have a job at the time, to be fair. So basically, they got this on the advice of my guitar teacher, a guy called John Herring, who I believe lives in, or at least the last time I heard, was living in Felmingham, or just outside of Felmingham, I believe. So yeah, when I started when I was 7, had about 6 months on an acoustic guitar, which again I still have, and then got this thing, which is basically a K. I have no idea what if there's any other name for it, but it's basically just called a K. There's nothing else on the headstock, just says K. And as I understand, and I don't know a great deal about this to do with K's catalog. So I think it's just a guitar that was branded by K's catalog and made in, I'm assuming, in Japan. So if anybody knows anything about these things, I have seen a few of them on the net. So yeah, if anyone knows about it, then let me know. But anyway, this one is interesting in the fact that obviously this is my first guitar, and it's been through lots and lots of severe abuse. Essentially, this one was like the test bed for all the ridiculous things that I did. Hello, Angelo. Hello, John Paul. Oh, Johnny, 20 people. Thank you, Johnny. 20 people. I can't, again, I don't know how to say it. I'm in Live Producer, which is like the beta version. So, yeah, I know you're saying the eye icon, Charlotte, but there's nothing. I haven't got an eye icon. This is Live Producer, so it probably looks a bit different. So there's nothing here at the moment, and I don't want to muck about too much, otherwise it might die again. So where was I? Yeah, so this was like a test bed for loads of stupid things I did. What I want to do actually is I'm going to start putting up, if I can, I don't know if I can even put up photos, because I want to put up a photo or two of the ridiculous things I did with this guitar, because I originally got the guitar. Can I do that? Doesn't look like I can actually. Yeah, so I'm going to post that on my page. So I'm going to stick up on my page if you want to see it. Some photos of the guitar itself. I'll pop those up afterwards because I can't see how to do it here, and I'm again a bit thick. There's only a option to put GIFs and stickers and so on while I'm doing live feeds, but basically I'll pop those up on there when I've finished. So there's pictures of it. So this, I'll talk you through what has happened to this guitar. So it's actually originally had a varnish coat on it, but it's actually now stripped completely down to the bare wood with a bit of a wax finish on it, because essentially when I was a kid, about 9 or 10, I decided to take all of the varnish off it and paint it. I think the first time I did it, I painted it blue. So it was like a blue finish. Oh, okay. The meaning of the meaning of life. Yeah. Nice one. Yeah, I know. Well, I can't hold them up, can I? They're in my they're in the other room, Charlotte. So I have to I'll tell you what, you go and find them for me and I'll hold them up as that. But I put them all back. So yeah, this was blue, and then it was black, and then it was red, and then it was bizarrely covered in fur. So essentially, what I started out wanting it blue for some strange reason. Blue seemed like a decent color, and I fancied having a go with a rattle can in the garden. So I stripped the thing down and covered all the bits up, and then sprayed it blue. Looked ridiculous, so I sprayed it black. No, next time actually it was red. I was really into Queen at the time, and I decided that I would try and make it look as close to Brian May's Red Special as possible. So I sprayed it completely red, and then I put scratch plates all over it. So if you look very closely, you can see there's some holes here where I sort of screwed on some scratch plates around here, and it's really it's suffered, basically. I think I'll tell you what, I'm going to go and get my photos. So instead of uploading them, I want to show you. So I think it's important that you see exactly what I did to this poor guitar. It would be far more interesting. I'll be back in 2 minutes. So I'm like the only person sad enough to have organised all of my ridiculous band photos when I was a kid into very organised little things. Right, so we're going to start off. This is what it looked like. This is what it looked like originally. So that looks very much like it does now, other than the fact it's got a finish on it. There were no holes in it. It actually felt quite nice to play back then, and then a little sticker. But one of the next incarnations was this. And I'll post these up in a bit, so if you want to see them a bit better, you can see them. So there it is, my Brian May period. So I sprayed it red, see-through red for some reason, found a load of weird scratch plates. That one above the front pickup is actually from an acoustic guitar. And I, for some strange reason, marker penned them black because they weren't black to start with. And, hey, who did what, Charlotte? So I sprayed them black. I varnished the neck because I apparently knew from somewhere that Brian May had done his like that, and then I wrote my initial. You see that R on the headstock there. Turned the truss rod cover in, the other way around, so no one could see it was a K, and essentially had that like that for a while. So it looks a bit weird, I have to say. And if you see in there, my original DS1, I had DS1 back in like the late 70s, I suppose, early 80s, and a Dodd preamp, and this massive, you can see that massive Selmer treble and bass head, 100-watt head and 4x12 cab that none of us could lift. It took the entire family to lift, and I mean my extended family, like sort of, about 100 people. Yeah, I've got the photo album. I'm not going to. Charlotte, I'm definitely not going to show them all the things out of the photo album. If I can find anything embarrassing of you, I definitely will. And then here's another incarnation. This one's even better. So here's my next one. So check that one out. That is when it turned into the Garfield guitar. So for some reason I needed to do something with a massive Garfield sticker I had handy. So you can see that I sprayed it black. And I put a Garfield sticker on it. So it's been humiliated quite seriously in its life. That's not all, actually. I think there's another one here of I went even further with that. Yeah, there we go. And put a Boss sticker. So it's got like a Boss sticker on it. And it's got the thing on its on the headstock as well. So it ended up looking absolutely ridiculous in the end. So after a few years of sort of abusing it and making it look somewhat ridiculous, I decided to put it back to normal. Just wanted to see if there's anything embarrassing I could show of Charlotte's while I was here. Oh yeah, that's a good one. There's a good one. There's Charlotte at Jasmine's first gig. Yes. Yes, definitely. I bet you enjoyed that. She doesn't wear that all the time, thankfully. Right. So that's what the poor guitar used to look like. And I decided after a while that I had to get it back to normal because it was looking utterly ridiculous. I think the last thing was black, and so decided that actually you just had to take it all back to normal. So I took all the black off, tried to get it as back to normal as possible, and got it there. But the next sort of sad episode of the story is that I had just finished getting all the paint off, getting it back to a playable state, putting it all together, and it was in my room. And this has got to be sort of in like the mid 80s, 80. Everyone should try a wig sock. I'm going to try one for, I think, maybe for my next video, Charlotte, if you've got a wig sock handy. Oh no, I've forgotten one point. Before it was black and after it was red, I came back from school with a load of I don't know if anyone remembers this, but at school, one of the things you always did in like home economics was learn to sew. and you were supposed to make a gonk, which is basically like a furry toy with stuffing. And I got given a load of I nicked it from the school, a load of pink and brown fur for these gonks. I brought it home and decided that I'd put fur all over my guitar. So essentially, I glued brown fur on the sides and down the middle, pink fur. So at one point, this guitar was actually covered in fur. Not really realizing that the practicalities of having a guitar covered in fur, it very soon became very manky and sort of looked like a like a like a dead animal at the side of the road after about 6 weeks of this. And so that was a relatively short-lived point. So it didn't look particularly good. So what's this? And show them the photo on the wall. You with the hair. You want to see me with the hair? I don't even know if I've got one. Hang on. I'm not going to get that off the wall. I've probably got one in here, though. If you want to see one with the hair, just in case. Oh, my God, I'm not showing you that one. Blimey, these are embarrassment. Oh, here's one. Oh, yeah, you'll like this one. There we go. There's one with the hair. I used to have it. Oh, thanks, James. So there you go. And there's the actually that's my custom shop that I won for the Guitarist of the Year. That was taken at the Brickmakers back in probably 97 or 98, something like that. Right. Where were we? Oh yeah. So the next sad point. I don't know if my mum is watching. I had tagged her in this, but hopefully my mum was watching, because the next part of the story with this guitar is back when I got it going. We're back to this sort of state and looking pretty good. She was cleaning my room, and yeah, I know I did used to have hair, Andy. She cleaned my room and she knocked it over, and she broke the headstock. And so it was not using this guitar for a while, and I can probably show you that. You'll be able to see that. You can see the repair is there's a big old crack just there. So Mum knocked it over while she was hoovering the room and snapped the neck, or snapped the headstock. And so really for years it was pretty much unusable. Oh, hello, Wayne. And so it was, I mean, it's only, I suppose, about a year or so ago that I got that bit fixed. And so I haven't actually used this guitar for a long, long time. And there's all sorts of history with this guitar, because I've had this since I was like 7 or 8. So as I look over the guitar, you probably can't see this, but on the back plate, I've got all sorts of scribbles and like my initials and my star sign of all things. What looks like a sketch of a stormtrooper, and generally looking pretty sort of ropey. There's a hole just here where I broke this off, and the screw broke, and I had to put it in here for a while, and then decided that I wanted it back in there. Again, the whole thing is pretty much sort of sanded down, and the whole thing is sort of a slightly different shape because it's been sanded down so much. At the moment, actually, there's bare knuckle pickups in there, because when I got it back working again, the back pickup didn't work too well, and the front pickup was quite dodgy anyway from all the repainting and the sanding and mucking about with it. It just got very dodgy, so I decided to get them rewound. So bare knuckle. There's bare knuckle boot camps in there, True Grit, I think, something like that, in there at the moment. But I've yet to, because bare knuckle, the lovely guys at bare knuckle, were very nice and rewound the original pickups, which are here. So there's my original pickups, which I have to get round to putting back in again. But as you can probably see, they're pretty knackered too. So they're sort of, if you like, I don't even know what kind of pickups they were, but it was suggested that they might be Mighty Might pickups. So that's like the original pickups, and they're pretty. They've had it. I've sanded those down. I mean, a lot of times when I resprayed the thing, I didn't bother taking the pickups out, so they ended up getting sanded along with everything else and probably getting paint all over them. But I need to put those pickups back in again. But currently, currently these are the bare knuckle boot camps in there at the moment, and I think they sound pretty damn good. Let me just turn that off. So after that repair, basically it was Robbie Gladwell, my good friend Robbie, that did the repair on the neck and got that, tried to squeeze some glue in there. I mean, the headstock didn't completely fall off. It was just cracked and wouldn't take strings. So every time I tried to put some strings on it, would pull the whole thing open. But he managed to get some glue in there, and it's pretty good now. I've got sort of fairly light strings on it anyway, so as not to damage the thing any further, which obviously I don't want to break the neck again. So it's like fairly light strings. I think there's like 9s or 9.5s or something like that. So to finally put it together, my friend Ollie Neal, who I think is listening. Yeah, there you are, Ollie. Yes, don't worry, you're late. I screwed up the first part of the broadcast anyway. So yeah, I mean, he helped me get this back together again. He wired the pickups very kindly for me, and generally just did a bit of a job on the frets and sort of sorted it out. He's a clever guy that he is. Ollie's done quite a bit of work on a lot of my guitars. So basically, it's we wired it between Ollie and myself. We decided that he would wire it as much as I could remember of the original wiring, but more handy for me. When I have any guitar with two pickups like a Les Paul, I never like the wiring being a separate volume control for the front and the back. So this completely is completely different. Basically, these two don't do anything at all. And that's a volume control, and that's a tone control. So these do nothing at all. So I don't like using the Gibson Les Paul wiring, where you have a separate volume control for each pickup and a separate tone control, because I find it way too confusing. And so I can't even remember what I asked him to do, but what I think happens here is that it's a 3-way switch here. That's a 3-way, so it goes from the back pickup, middle pickup. No, both pickups on, sorry, front and back, and then front pickup in the top position. But then there's another switch there which taps the front pickup, but it doesn't tap the back pickup. So it only makes the front pickup a single chord. So if I play that, you can probably hear, if I turn that gain off. And then as I switched it on, goes into full humbuck mode. So it has a bit more girth. Can't beat the girth of that. And it's I think what it is, the front coil is the one that's on when it's tapped. But I'll just run through the settings on there. So front pickup. Front pickup tapped. Non-tapped and middle position. Yeah, you are that old, Gary. If you remember this one, you must be, because I don't think anyone's seen this one for years. And then back pickup, which back pickup on this one is actually pretty heavy. That's actually on the clean sound. Let's have a look. Thank you, Jamal. So that back pickup was quite pokey, to be honest. So what else do you want to know? Let's just run through a bit of the sounds, because it can be pretty good. For an old Japanese 70s cheap beginner guitar, I actually think it's pretty nice. I mean, the main issue I think I have with this at the moment is actually a little bit difficult to play. The neck's not as big as I'm used to, and there's a little bit of a problem with like a bit with the frets choking off. It probably needs another bit because the neck is probably still settling down after not having been used for so long. No doubt it needs a bit more time to settle down, but there's definitely there's a little bit of bit of rattle there. But other than that, as I say, it's quite a nice for a pretty cheap Japanese guitar. That's I've only ever seen like one or two others. It's not too bad at all. I know I was pretty happy to get it when I was 7, 8. I'll tell you what, when I first I had this one for years and years before I got another guitar. So this was like my only guitar for probably sort of like 6, 7 years before I got like another guitar. And I bought after this a Strat copy. And I remember thinking at the time, so not having sort of had many guitars at the time, that I bought the Strat copy and thought the Strat sounds so weedy in comparison, because I was playing like, the same sounds. Picked up the Strat, got it home and thought, when I played it, I thought, where's all my gain gone? Because this is really has a lot of some heavy metal. Has a lot of gain to it, basically. So when I got the Strat, I remember it took me ages to get used to the idea that the Strat had a different sound, that the learning the difference between single coil pickups and humbuckers at that time. Jamal there, so heavy metal. I don't know any heavy metal. I can play with gain. It's pretty good for that sort of thing, to be fair. Pink Floyd starting now. Wayne, I'm definitely not going to be playing Gay Bar. As I said to you, you spend enough time in those places without me having to play the song at the same time. Right. So if there's any guitarists listening, I was going to do a quick lick for you. So here's a lick if you want to have a go at that. One I definitely did in the first little jam. So basically, I like these backward sweeping things. So when you play something and go, so my lick would be. So what you do is you're in A minor pentatonic, first position, and be patient if you're not into guitar or can't play. You go up to the C on the E string and you go. I should think it does. So basically what you do is you go to the C, the A on the E string, the E on the B string, the C on the G, so 5th fret, and then down to the 7th fret, and that's an A on the D string. So what you're doing is you're going up, and then you're taking your pick back and going. And then what I do is, and that's hit the 5th fret on the G and going. I like that. Sounds pretty good to me. What you can do, if you're feeling fruity, you can go up to the 4th position and do almost the same riff. So up to the 15th fret, and then go. So in other words, 15th on the E, 12th on the E, 13th on the B, 14th on the G, and go. So there's the same sort of thing, but one more note. So you now go. So it's pretty much the same riff, but it just starts in a different place, and you can do both. And it sounds better if you slide up to that note. Hello, I think Finn. She's on there. All right, let's do a not a request. Something I think you like. Little bit of Satch there for you. So what we got? Dave Mason. Yes, the shape is similar to a Gibson double cut. I was trying to think what the shape sort of seems like to me. It looks a bit like a sort of scaled down 335. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, anything like that. Thank you, Jamal. That's with this double cut. Thank you, Finn. I thought you'd enjoy that one. So 335 Gibson double cut. It looks sort of vaguely like a Yamaha SG as well. So really, I don't know. I suppose that's where they got the shape from. A different sort of shape cutaway at the top than the bottom. So a bit, I don't know. Who knows? Looks a little bit like those old alembic basses. Thanks, Johnny. That's really good. So the last post you said you were sat on the toilet while you were listening, and now you've just messed yourself. Most of your stuff seems to revolve around the inner workings of your bowels, as far as I can tell. So yeah. What else can I do? Yeah. So just to cap off that riff. You can run that back and have a listen to that. I'm going to round it off with, let's have a think. What should I play? I think I will do. Let's do some Santana. So I'm going to do Black Magic Woman. Have a bit of a jam to that one. And then I'll go. As always, don't forget, if you liked me talking about my old guitars and bits and pieces, then please donate, or you could buy a CD. That would be really nice. I like people to buy CDs. You can get something for your money. So buy a CD from the website. It's www.slayerenjoys.co.uk. I'll make sure that the link's up there for donations. But that's just paypal.me//Ron Jr. And also, don't forget that me and Charlotte are doing a nice little acoustic gig a bit later on. So if you can tune in 7:30, we're just going to do like an hour set of acoustic stuff, have a bit of fun. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So come and watch that, because that'll be pretty cool. So anything else I wanted to tell you, or apart from that? No, I think that's it. Don't forget to tune back in again. I'm most probably be doing another one tomorrow on another one of my collection. If anyone has any, you spelled bowels wrong there, Johnny. if anyone has any suggestions of what they'd like to see, I've got Gibsons, Fenders, Ibanez's, and various sort of weird guitars. And what I've decided, because of the ratio of my guitars to my bass guitars, every fifth one is going to be a bass guitar. Okay. So Andy, you can be patient, and I'll sort that out. So I'm going to do a bit of Black Magic. Oh, Gary, yeah. I suppose I should have done smooth, but I haven't got that ready. It's a hot one. Right, so yeah, I'm going to finish off with Black Magic Woman. I might just need to check levels, so be patient. And so thanks, guys. Hopefully I'll see you a bit later at the acoustic gig, 7:30 to 8:30. But bye for now. Oh, nice bit of delay there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you tomorrow. And come and see us tonight for the acoustic gig too.